sad to report to you the news that no one really wanted to hear. Little Elm Police Detective Sergeant Jerry Walker fatally injured while responding to a call about a man with a gun. He was a veteran of the force and a father.
Within the last 20 minutes, first responders, including police and firefighters, lined up outside the Denton Regional Medical Center to salute Detective Walker. It was an emotional scene. A bagpiper was there as well as part of the salute. Fox 4's Richard Ray is in Little Elm with the late breaking developments. Rich.
Heather and Steve, 48-year-old Jerry Walker shot in the neck earlier today. As you said, a 15-year veteran promoted to detective in 2013, leaves behind 4 children. About 20 minutes ago, his police chief came out here, Rodney Harrison. He was clearly shaken by the events of the day. Said he was not going to take any questions, but he did have a statement. Here's what he had to say.
It is with a heavy heart and sadness that we announce the passing of Detective Jerry Walker. Detective Walker died while responding to an incident that is still an active scene. He was 48 years of age. He joined the department in September of 1998. He was the father of 4 children, the youngest a few months old and the oldest 22. The area is still an active crime scene with officers from the Denton County Sheriff's Office and the Frisco Police Department assisting Little Elm officers. As you know, a suspect with a long gun was reported and police were called to the scene. When officers began establishing a perimeter to contain the situation, the suspect fired at officers and officers responded with gunfire. It was at that point that Detective Walker was wounded. He was transported to the hospital where, despite the efforts of hospital staff and our paramedics, he was pronounced deceased. An unknown subject remains inside the home. We're not certain of the subject's condition, but we're able to safely extract an elderly female relative of the suspect through a window. We now believe that the suspect is totally alone inside the house. Let me emphasize that this is still an active situation and there's still danger in the area. We ask for prayers for the family of Detective Walker. He was a model officer and a person who will be missed here at the department and in the town of Little Elm. Thank you.
Chief Harrison said he would not have any other comment until 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, that they would not be asked questions. But as you heard him say, it's still an active scene. We have heard reports that there's maybe flashbangs and that sort of thing in the area, but none of those questions are going to be answered apparently until tomorrow. Let me give you a little background on this city. It has exploded in the last decade from about 8,000 people to 30,000 people, and the police department here has probably tripled. There are 41 full-time officers now, but in its entire history, the town of Little Elm has never before lost a police officer in the line of duty. There's a lot of grief here tonight. Steve and Heather.
Richard, Steve here. It was interesting to see the chief. You can tell in a small department he's very emotional, but he's still got this suspect holed up too. It's a strange dynamic, right? They've got an officer killed, but the bad guy's still out there.
I think it's important to say they don't know what the condition of that suspect is right now, if in fact that is the latest information. Earlier we heard from the fire chief, and I don't think he had the latest information. I feel assured that the chief has the latest information. Neighbors know who lives in that house. Mm-hmm. Neighbors are telling us the name, but police are not willing to say that suspect's name, at least publicly yet.
All right, and yeah, the chief said, didn't really say exactly a lot on the current status of the suspect. They just know they got a person out of that house. All right, Richard Ray, thank you. Officers from a number of jurisdictions have slowly been gathering at what's called now Denton Medical City, gathering throughout the night, waiting for word. They were worried about the sergeant tonight. Yes, we want to take a look at the scene at the ambulance bay where Detective Walker's body was brought out of the hospital just minutes ago tonight. Dozens of officers, firefighters saluting the man who lost his life while serving his community. Fox 4's Zoga is there tonight. He's been there all evening. Deanna, what can you tell us?
Heather, just within the last 5 minutes, we did see a procession leave the hospital here. Just dozens and dozens of police officers and firefighters from across the region helping escort Detective Sergeant Jerry Walker's body away from the hospital here. We do have some video of that just a few moments ago. There was a salute here at the hospital in the ambulance bay. This is the place, Denton Regional Medical Center, where Jerry Walker was brought in the initial moments that he was injured, and he was treated here at the hospital. We did see police officers early in the evening start to show up here, waiting for information, waiting for word, but about 15 minutes before 8 o'clock this evening, we did see those officers moving from other parts of the hospital in the parking lot over to that ambulance bay. That crowd grew again as more officers arrived. Then they began to line up. There was a bagpipe player here, I believe he is with one of the police departments, who then began to play Amazing Grace as the body of Detective Sergeant Jerry Walker was carried out of the hospital. Those officers saluting him, saluting his service here, and of course, honoring him, his death in the line of duty here at the hospital. Those officers have just cleared out again within the last 5 minutes. This has all happened here at Denton Regional Medical Center. Really an emotional scene, hugging and crying from officers and other first responders alike as they arrive here to offer support to the Little Elm Department, and of course family and friends as well. Back to you.
And Deanna, we're starting to learn more about who Officer Jerry Walker was. We heard from the chief. He's a father, well loved, well respected in the community, really somebody everybody knew and admired.
Right, and apparently that is certainly the case, as we saw so many police officers show up really early on in the evening, as soon as Detective Sergeant Walker was brought here to the officer. We got here pretty early on this evening, and initially there were a handful of police cars here in the circle drive in front of the hospital, and as time progressed, we just saw police officers again from across the region of Flower Mound, Aubrey, Denton County, all showing up here, all running into the hospital. They were wanting to know the latest information, but that hopefulness that they may have come in with, hoping that he would persevere and pull through, quickly changed here this evening, as we learned that he did indeed pass away, and those officers did give him that final salute here at the hospital. Back to you.
All right. It's always emotional. Deanna, thank you, though, for your coverage. Now, the shooting put the neighborhood nearby and also nearby schools on edge tonight.
All were put on lockdown for a time. A father who lives in the neighborhood, Antonio Sutton, posted this video on Facebook. He says he lives just a few doors down from the suspect and witnessed the shooting. Fox 4's Allison Harris spoke to him and others in the neighborhood, and she continues our coverage tonight. Allison.
Steve and Heather, we are outside of the neighborhood. It is still blocked off here. As you heard in that press conference, the police chief said this is a dangerous area, still very much an active situation. They now believe that suspect, who we now know shot and killed Detective Jerry Walker, is inside the home. They do now believe he's inside the home, and I can say we have heard several noises over the past 30 minutes or so that led us to believe that police were possibly moving in on the home. So we cannot see exactly what is happening. They're keeping us and everyone else back for our safety. I did speak with that neighbor through FaceTime. He says he saw the police presence around 3 o'clock after picking his kids up. He dropped off his 10-year-old and his 2-year-old at home. Then he went a little closer to see what was going on. He says a school bus trying to take students home had to stop and be evacuated because of the incident. Minutes later, closer to 4 o'clock, he says he watched a police sniper get positioned outside of the home. He heard one loud shot and then about 4 more fast shots. He believes that shooter, his neighbor, was shooting from the backyard, although he did not see him firing. He did see Detective Walker get shot and police rush in to protect him.
We're talking about a rifle because I've never seen the suspect himself tonight. I don't know whether he was shooting from the backyard or from a window, but the shot went straight. It had to have been a rifle shot. I seen them, get there to render him aid, and then they pulled up another SUV just to shield to make sure that there were no further shots that got to him and got him in the vehicle, and they rushed him on out of there.
We also just spoke to several of his neighbors who are parked outside of the neighborhood, kind of near where we are, just waiting to be let back in.
They're on lockdown, and my wife's there at home, and and I was at work and heard the news and came home, and this entrance, and then there's another entrance on the other side of the neighborhood, and they've got it barricaded too.
They just have the street blocked, I guess, for security reasons. So I'm just waiting until they clear it off so I can get home and get some rest.
This shooting did cause nearby schools to go on lockdown right as school was letting out. Students at Lakeside Middle School, Powell's 6th grade center, and Zeller's Center were on lockdown. The district slowly started allowing buses to take students home, but students who typically walk home were held at school. Parents could pick them up. Police did evacuate some of the people who were in this neighborhood, taking them to the Little Elm Senior Center. And again, the neighborhood is still barricaded, blocked off tonight, going into the 6th hour now, as this is still a dangerous area, still a standoff situation with that suspect. Steve and Heather.
Okay, Allison, thanks. And as Allison mentioned, there's still a lot of stuff that needs to be taken care of tonight. So please stay tuned to Fox 4 as this story continues to develop. Whatever's settled tonight will need to be followed up on tomorrow. We'll let you know if anything changes within the next hour or several hours, status of the suspect, that kind of thing. We'll keep you updated on air and online as coverage is needed. Fox4News.com.